Hey Kingston, PatNadeau here with the Nadeau Real Estate Group and EXP Realty. And with all the craziness that's been going on in the Kingston market, I figured I would address a couple of the main points that I go through with all of my buyers as they enter the market. Point number one is that everything is a race, and if you ain't first, you're last. The reason I say that is because of point number two, which is holding offers. So the big thing that's going on right now is that a lot of realtors are listing their homes on a Monday and having their sellers sign a agreement that says they will not look at offers until Friday. So what happens is, and what the intent is that, when the property goes up, all the buyers come through it all week. They all have a fair opportunity to see the property, and then they make their offer on Friday. A lot of times what's happening is we're ending up in multiple offers. So there's 3, 4, 5, 10, whatever offers on a property. And almost 100% of the time when you get in that many numbers, the property sells for over asking price. There are still deals to be found. I think the common misconception is that in a seller's market, you always have to overbid for a property and you never have to have conditions. And I think a lot of people get really overwhelmed with that. But the deal is found in obviously being first and not last. So it's not in every single situation and every single listing that the listing agent and the seller decide that they're going to hold offers for the entire week. Sometimes a seller would decide that they'd rather this sense of urgency behind the buyer's mind as opposed to having the time to wait and think, and they decide not to hold offers. So in that case, which obviously circles back to why you need a buyer's agent, is the most important thing is to have a buyer's agent set you up on a property search if you're looking for properties right now. Because sometimes it'll take from 3 days to get from the MLS system and our realtor system to realtor.ca. And in the times that people are not holding offers, that property's gone in 12 to 24 hours. So especially if it's priced right. So with my buyers, what I'm having them do is watch that property search that we have them on, where the property goes the instant it hits MLS. If it's in their criteria, it goes into their email. They check that religiously, and then they text me the address and say, are they holding offers on the property? That's the first question we always ask. If they are holding offers on the property, we take a breath and we schedule a showing that week and go from there. But if they are not holding offers, my thing that I always say is we need to get there now. And if you like the property tonight, you got to put the offer in for asking price. You got to give them, hopefully the conditions and everything else that they want. And it's weird to, hear that is a deal now, but it is. The deal is paying asking price for a property because for a fact that you're not having to overbid and lose your conditions. You might still get the luxury of having an inspection and so on. So my next point is, if you're looking at a property that's $350,000, you're really not looking at a property that's $350,000. And what I mean by that is most properties are selling for over asking price. So it's important to kind of understand that when you're looking at these properties, if your budget is say $400K, it's kind of difficult to look at something for $400K because you almost know that property is going to sell for $410 or $420 unless you're the first one there and you don't have to compete. So moving into multiple offers and kind of what you can expect and obviously how you win, the biggest thing is money talks. So usually the offer with the most money wins. But another thing that comes into play, and I'm seeing more and more, is sometimes a seller will take a hit on how much money an offer has, and they'll take a lower offer if it has less conditions because it's more solid. So if I have 2 offers and one's 380 and the other's 375, and the 381 has an inspection condition and this one only has financing, either this one has the money or they don't at 375, and this one they have an inspection. So the inspection could go wrong. Even though you have a nice home or whatever, there's still that chance and that risk. So some people might take the $5,000 hit and have that solidness of knowing that they have the money in their pocket as opposed to taking the risk on the inspection. So with all this being said, it circles right back to the point that I always make, why it's so important to hire a buyer's agent, because it costs you absolutely nothing and they can represent your best interests and get you into the property as quick as possible and make sure that you are first and not last.